The KZ Buyer Guide. Let's talk about it. In this buyer guide, we're going to try to look at some different models of KZ and try to figure out which one of these modules will be for you. KZ has sent me a few models over the past few months, and I've decided to take some time and go over them to try to give you guys some solid purchase advice with Black Friday coming up really soon. Let's start by looking at the build quality of these IEMs, and we have the KZ Sonata, the KZ Duonic, and the KZ Duet on the left. Let's get into it. The Duet is unique in that it's almost like an Apple AirPods kind of style. This is the Sonata. The Sonata is pretty. It has a beautiful faceplate that's reminiscent of $1,000 sets, and it also has a large shell size to it. The Duonic that sounds next to it is actually a lot smaller. You can see it feels like it's about 50% less the size. Now, both of these do have switches, which is a good and bad thing depending. Now, these switches, you can change the sound profile of your sound. I would recommend to alter them at the same time and at the same level, and then try them. The Duonic has a different style faceplate to it. It's a little bit more metallic, a little bit less fancy, but it's also much cheaper. You'll see that it is a lot smaller of a shell as well. The nozzle size are about the same size as well, and they both have the same cable connector, and you can swap cables, whereas the Duet you cannot swap cables with. This is the cable of the Duet. Not too exciting. They do not come off, but it's a nice little cable nonetheless. It is terminated with a mic. This is kind of what it looks like, but you do want to put on ear tips towards this. Your ear tips look like this, and it's a lot better fit for me with those ear tips on. The KZ Sonata comes with a $30 upgrade cable. This is a nice addition. I actually own one and bought one and used it on my Duonic as well. It's a nice cable. It terminates in 3.5. It has quality branded terminations and feels and looks premium. These are the ear tips that come on the Sonata. They're much more premium feeling and a nice overall unboxing experience. The Sonata also includes a cable with a microphone if you so need it. The Sonata really has the full package, and it is quite impressive. And we're not even done looking at all the features of the Sonata, which all comes within it. This is the case of the Sonata, and it is a really solid, beautiful case. It's a premium looking and feeling style case with a nice zipper. The KZ Zenith also has this style of case, which is a nice premium addition to that earphone. The Sonata and Duonic both include this little adapter to be able to switch the sound on this profile. It's not a difficult thing to do, but it's nice to have a tool to do. So as we look at the three packaging, the Duonic is the cheapest at around $25. The Duet's a little bit more at $30. I personally like the quality and sound quality of the Duonic the best. I think the Duet has more of a special breed for people that need a different style fitting IEM or maybe have really small ears. The Sonata is really more for your veteran audiophiles that want something beautiful. People that are used to IEMs, that are used to having a large fitting IEM, but it does have a really nice frequency response graph. Speaking of graphs, let's go ahead and look at some graphs so we can better understand maybe what's going to be for you. All right, these are the graphs of the Duet, the Sonata, and the Duonic. We're going to do a little bit of comparisons with these, and then, we'll compare some other models as well. First of all, let's look at the Duet versus the Duonic, and you'll notice that the Duet is interesting because it has a lot of sub bass, and it has some weird kind of jumps in the treble. Now, I'm not 100% sure about my graph and how this is going to sit in your ear, but it has a nice overall sonic quality to it, and I do have a full review of the KZ Duet if you'd like to check it out sometime. But it has a lot of bass, it's a lot of fun, it's a nice sonic quality, but I don't think it has a lot of that pristine treble. Speaking of treble, let's look at the Sonata. Now the Sonata is kind of the high-end model. What you'll notice is that even on the Duonic has a little bit more of this lower treble region, which is kind of a fun colorization. Has a little bit more of this upper mids area, which can be a little bit shouty. and different. Now, I personally think that both of these are competent earphones, but I like the Duonic a little bit better. But if you want to talk packaging, the Sonata is much, much more premium. It has 2 cables, it has a full set of tips, and I think if you're going to buy a set for somebody and you can afford it, the Sonata makes to be a great packaging value for our older audiophiles that might like it. So moving forward, we're going to focus more on the Duonic and do a few other comparisons with other models. The next one I want to compare this to is a model I got from Keep Hi-Fi, the KZ ZS12 Pro. I kind of like the ZS12 Pro, but I thought it was more of a specialist. It does have a lot of brightness over here. It has a lot of this extra 3K region, and this was a little bit too much for me. It's a nice set, but not something that I personally would want to gravitate towards or recommend for people that like my preferences. As far as other IEMs out there, there's another IEM I got to hear this year, the KZ Taurus, also I got from Keep Hi-Fi. You'll notice it has a little bit more treble, a little bit less bass. It's a nice tactful set with a nice colorization that you might find yourself really enjoying. And I've also done a review of that guy on channel. The next one I want to talk about is the KZ ZA12, which again suffers a lot of the same problems as the Taurus. But with the KZ ZA12, just has a little bit too much treble, not enough lower mids. Now it's still a fine set, but knowing what you like. Personally, I like a little bit of bass. I feel it smooths out the upper treble, and it lets you have like twinklies and sparklies and a little bit of thunderous rumble. And I think that's a good combo. Last year's model you'll probably be able to find on a discount is the KZ EDC Pro, and that's a really nice model. Has a lot more sub bass, a little bit more incision of 8K, and not as accentuated upper treble, but it is a rather nice set. Another IEM I wanted to compare for you guys is the KZ Zenith. I've heard rumors that there's a new KZ IEM on the fritz that has its driver, and that's coming out. So there are new models coming out. The KZ Zenith also has that really nice case and is an overall really competent, lovely IEM. There are a lot of other IEMs that KZ has done. Some I like, some I don't like. Something like the KZ Symphony. If you want to look at this, it just had a little bit too much of everything. I know a lot of people liked it, but it was a little bit extravagant. The nice thing about a KZ IEM, if you want to try something that's a little bit colored and a little bit different, you're not going to break the bank, and you have a reasonable price to performance to pay for. Even something like the KZ PRX is a really nice set that has a little bit more of an 8K peak. It's a nice planar driver, but it can be a little bit peaky and sharp at times. And then even there's this IEM like the KZ Zex, which I did not a huge fan of, but I know some people did like. There's a lot of different IEMs that we can look at from KZ. Like another one that's like happened 2 years ago was the KZ Krilla. To me, something like the Duonic or even the EDC Pro is a little bit better, but again, that doesn't make the Krilla a bad set. There's a lot of good sets out there, a lot of ones that KZ has great frequency response, great value for dollar, and does a lot of great things in this market. So what should you buy? My personal take is that if you're in the higher end market, I think the Sonata is a great IEM that really mirrors that kind of upper sound that you profile you're going to get out of a lot of headphones. It has a really nice frequency response and is a nice sounding IEM overall. It has really pristine treble and is nice. The Duonic does a lot of that and is a newer model, and I think it does a lot of that treble with a lot of darkness and richness in the bass. It has an overall sonic quality. It's hard to find what IEM is going to be right for you because we all have different ears. We all have different preferences. But hopefully this video has helped you guys. This is a video I just did to kind of give you guys some purchase advice. If you guys have any questions about things, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching to the end, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye for now.
Go!
Go.
Go on with you!